Hi everyone. I think that I'm going to speak and I don't have to show you nothing. I have bought a Maserati less than 10 days ago, the Italian supercar. And there are three funny things behind my purchase. The first one is that it was my dream since I was a child to have a Maserati, to drive a Maserati. The second one is that only 24 months ago I was a common Italian high school student, and I moved myself by bus. The third one is that I'm not really happy about this purchase, but I will say to you this at the end of my speech. Before, I would like to explain a story, an Italian story, the story of the last 2 years of my life. I was born in Rome, and I was a common high school student. And when I was born, my father was a technician, and my mom an employee, and then an housewife. And they wanted to lead their son to a private school. So I remember that I have studied in a very good high school in Rome. But I was the guy from the suburb, so I was quite different from the other classmates. I was a good student, but I was more ambitious and maybe more clever than the other. After school, from high school to, I moved myself by bus to the swimming pool because I was a swimmer, and I remember that I was a very good swimmer, and I have won the Italian junior championship in freestyle. So it was a very good period of my life. But during the high school, something was going to change, because my father was fired from his position, from his office. And I knew that he was one of the best employees in his sector, in his company. And in that period, I remember that the management of the club where I swam usually didn't like the swimmers that swam in the suburb, because there was a central swimming pool with a lot of small swimming pool, and I had a different coach, different mind, so I didn't receive invitation for a lot of big competitions. So I had one question into my mind: where is the meritocracy? But I was lucky for two reasons. The first one is that my father decided to invest in a small company in Italy, and he bought the 27% of a company. So for the first time in my life, I lived in the same house with an entrepreneur. And I decided, and I say that I would like to become an entrepreneur too. The second one is that for the first time I found the meritocracy. During the last year of high school, me and my classmates had a problem. We had to decide in which universities to study. And I remember that one of my classmates arrived to the class with a document with a ranking of the best universities in Italy. Me, my friends, my classmates were influenced by it. And I remember that I wanted to study economics. And I have seen that in the first position there was the Bocconi University. So I said, I want to study there. Bocconi University is a private school. It's a very important private school in Italy, private university. But in that moment, I idea, the idea that changed my life. After a few days, I call that idea egomnia. Ego is me in Latin, and omnia means everything. What is egomnia? I say, why there isn't a ranking of people? Mathematics, rules. So in this way, we can help the recruiters to select the best candidates. I need to create a ranking of people. So I had my idea and I made it a reality. And I asked to my dad, Dad, I'm looking for someone who developed the website. My dad said to me, try to find a software house, a web agency online. I started to send my request to some web agencies, but the result was that the price was very high, more than 100,000 euros to develop my idea, to develop Egomnia. But as I said, it wasn't a good period for us because my father was fired and invested in a company. So it was a big investment, 100,000 euros. And my dad said to me, we cannot do this, I'm sorry. But I decided to change the strategy. And I was looking for one guy, for one student. I didn't know anyone that someone, I don't know, I was looking for someone that was able to write codes. But I met young students that was studying software engineering in Pisa. And I said, how much is to develop my website? And obviously, a student has not the same cost of a company. And the result was that the price was only 10,000 euros. So, and I say, let's do it, okay. But in this way, I didn't find a co-founder because I have paid him. So the company was and is 100% of mine. We had a lot of problems and one good news in that period. The problems were that the website was very difficult to develop, and Giuseppe, this is the name of the young guy, Giuseppe wrote codes for 1 year, so more than 1 million codes to develop the platform. Obviously, the website was very difficult because we used the new technologies of the market to assign a score to the CVs of the member of the website. The score is influenced by academic background, certificates, internships, abroad studies. Everyone can see his own position inside rankings. So very, very complicated website. Another problem was that I didn't have any sort of experience, and I knew I didn't have a business plan, and I knew I could not invest in marketing. So when I'm going to launch the website, Egomnia, I knew that I said into my mind, when I'm going to launch Egomnia will be empty. So if the mission is to match companies with job seekers, why a user have to subscribe to Egomnia if there aren't companies and vice versa? But fortunately, we had one good news. I was accepted to Bocconi. So since March 2012, I knew that I was a Bocconi University student. In September, I moved myself from Rome to Milan, and I said bye-bye to my parents and to my friends. And I started a new life. As I said, I was a good student, and I slept in the campus with other good students. My roommate was older than me, and he helped me a lot to know better the university. And I have understood that there was a media center managed by students with a radio, with YouTube channel, with little newspaper. So I went there and I started to speak about Egomnia, to explain Egomnia. And I said my story, that I had this idea because I wanted to create the meritocracy, that I started to contact a lot of companies because I wanted some companies before the launch, but the result was that no one answered me. And I remember that the students say to me, "We want to help you, Matteo. We really like Egomnia." So for the first time, I have seen a piece of light at the end of the tunnel. But they said, "We are not helping you. We are helping us because Italy needs something like Egomnia." The situation in Italy was and is not very good because the unemployment rate is 12.6%, twice that of the US, with where over 40% of people ages 24 to 35 struggle to find a job, with peaks up to 60% in southern Italy. So something like Egomnia was very good because Egomnia helps people, young talents, to find a job. In that period, so September, October 2012, a lot of students were talking about Egomnia. And the news arrived to the head of the students of Bocconi. His name is Antonio. He came to me and he said, "Matteo, I really like your story. I really like you, and I would like to write a post on a national newspaper." And for me was absurd. And I say, obviously, thank you so much. We finished to develop Egomnia in March 2012. And I said into my mind, if you are going to receive 200 subscribers the first month, you probably have a good website because you have a website developed by one guy. You don't have money and you have an empty website. So for this reason, we had some problems. But during that day, the 7th of March 2012, I was living like a movie because something is changed into my life. I received a very funny call from Giuseppe, the developer, my developer, and he was crying and he said to me, 5 subscribers per minute, and I didn't understand. What does it mean, 5 subscribers per minute? 5 subscribers per minute. In less than one day, we had 1,000 subscribers and 25 companies, and it was a Sunday. And I have understood that the article written by Antonio, the head of the students at Bocconi, went viral, because in that period, in March 2012, Elsa Fornero, that was the welfare minister in Italy, was writing the Job Act. Italy, as I said, was in a not very good situation. Mark Zuckerberg, the Facebook founder, was moving Facebook to Wall Street. So, and no one knew the word startup in Italy in that period. So probably I was the first young Italian startupper, and was a perfect new, the first Italian 20 years old that has created the first social network to help people to find a job. So I received the attention from all the Italian media. In only 1 month, I received 15,000 subscribers and almost 100 companies. So my website was similar to the university, to Bocconi universities, and this is funny. In that period, during the 2012, I remember that I have created a very big network. I have spoken at 20 with CEOs and top managers of the biggest companies in Italy. I have spoken with politicians that wanted to know me, to know what I'm doing with Egomnia, what I was doing with Egomnia, and that wanted to use sometimes my image. I have spoken with journalists. The Italian media, the Italian press calls me the Italian Zuckerberg. And I think that I was lucky to receive this nickname. This helped me a lot with the media. But at the end of the year, in 2012, I had a very big network. I had the credibility, and people started to know me, to know my face. But the turnover of Egomnia was only $15,000. So I have understood that I didn't want an investor because the platform was growing up very, very fast. I have to wait for the investors. But I have understood that I need to make money. During the 2013, I used the money I have earned in 2012 to pay some developers. And I used my network, so I contacted the CEOs, the top managers, just to understand what they need and to create the product. And the business was divided in two ways. The first one was the core business, the platform. I created the premium services to use the website, and some advertising services. In the other side, I created a B2B way, so some softwares for the HR division of the big companies, using the same technologies of Egomnia. The turnover was $500,000, and it was enough to reinvest in Egomnia, in myself. So in 2014, I had the money to do what I had in my idea when I was in the high school. And I have the network and the possibilities to do what I want to, how can I say, to do what I really want to do. And I signed very important agreements with some of the biggest companies in the world. And Egomnia became one of the leading job searching platforms and enterprise software companies in the Italian HR market, with more than 400,000 subscribers and almost 900 companies, with also very big ones like Microsoft, Generali, the biggest insurance, and Vodafone, etc. And I have understood that Italy wasn't enough. I wanted to become global, but how could I do this? In Italy, people know me, but outside Italy, no one knows about Egomnia and about myself. But I have received a very important call, because in that moment, for the first time maybe, I had a story to tell, a very good story. Because in Italy, we are strong in fashion, we are strong in luxury, we are strong in food, but there isn't a big high-tech Italian company. We are not strong in the high-tech. So a startup that is going to become a big company in high-tech in Italy, with this story behind, probably was very good for the media. The call I received was from BBC. BBC contacted me, and the journalists say to me, "Hi Matteo, we want to talk about an Italian case of success, about an Italian story, and we found you and other people. So please let me know something about you." And I started to explain my story. So what happened to me? I was 21. I had a company with a turnover of $500,000 in the first year. I had 40,000 subscribers, 900 companies. So it was a very good story. And all these things in Italy, with unemployment rate over the 40% for my target, the young talents. BBC say to me, the journalists of the BBC say to me, wait a second, I have to talk with my director because this is a very good story. The journalist recalled me after a few hours and say to me, Matteo, we are not going to write an article about you because we want to do something more. And I think that in that moment, something changed again in my life, because the journalists say to me, we want to include you inside the BBC documentary called The Next Billionaires. And I thought, wow, this is really amazing. Documentary is so important, can help me to become famous all over the world, so outside Italy. But I had a problem. I wasn't ready for the world. So the website was in Italian, only in Italy. Really, I wasn't ready for the world. And the funny thing is that the BBC said to me, we are going to film you the day after tomorrow, and we want to speak with your clients. And trust me, if you want to contact a multinational company and say, I need your CEO or your president because BBC is filming a documentary about me, it's very complicated to have. But I have done this, and inside the film, the documentary, you can see the director of Microsoft, the president of Generali, and the presidents of the province of Milan. So we have done a good job. During the summer, BBC contacted me and said, we want to launch this now. And I started to think, I have to do something. I have to do something to increase the hype behind Egomnia. I have to create an hype because I cannot show Egomnia. So I say to my developers, please, no one outside Italy can join Egomnia. And everyone say to me, you are crazy, Matteo. You are going to receive a lot of subscribers with this attention from the media. And I said, I'm not crazy, but this is the only way to do the things in the right way. So the only thing that I have done was this, and I say, let's do it. And I was lucky. I was lucky again because I have created one of the biggest hype of the last years behind a startup. I was contacted after BBC from Sky News International in UK, Adevarul in Romania, JP in Denmark, Bild in Germany, Vanity Fair in Spain, Veja Globo Exam in Brazil, Revista Central in Mexico, Business Insider in USA. Business Insider has included me inside the list, the most powerful people in tech in 2014. So it was an amazing story. And in only 10 days, I received from the landing page of Egomnia more than 100,000 emails all over the world. The Straits Times in Singapore. So my network with the media was higher than in the past. And I said, I am going to launch the website in October, the international version of the website. Now, the new version of Egomnia is ready, but I decide to not launch in October, but probably I'm going to launch in March. Because in this period, I was contacted by some of the biggest companies, international companies in the world, and I signed agreements with them. I was contacted by some of the biggest no-profit organizations, and I was contacted from the biggest venture capitalists in the world, and they really want to open the Egomnia Equity because there isn't a leader hiring platform focused on young talent in the world. So Egomnia could be the first one, and so that's what me, my company, my financial advisor are working on. I want to open the Egomnia Equity. This is a multi-million-dollar action, and all the investors ask me the same thing. Why you want to keep your holding base in Italy? Are you crazy, Matteo? taxes for entrepreneurs and for young entrepreneurs are over the 60%, sometimes up to 70%. For this reason, sometimes I really think that someone is robbing the Italian industry. We are talking about a software companies. It's easy to move it abroad. And trust me, every year, the answer, because you are Italian, Matteo, you might do this for your country, you might do this for your son, is starting to be not enough. At the beginning of my speech, I say that I'm not happy about my purchase. Probably because I grew up and I have understood that I'm going to take part to the richest 1% of the world. And it's not good to show your rich, how much rich you are. But you might do something to help the world and to change the people's life. And I remember one advice that was given to me from an important man that is the president of the Italian Institute of Technologies, Roberto Cingolani, that said to me, many people decide to give their contribution to the world's improvement only after they have arrived on the top of their career and made more money than they would be able to spend. So, my personal advice to you, Matteo, is to start thinking how to improve the world and the people's life since the beginning. And I think that I have done something in my life because I have created a company that helps people, young talents, to find a job. Nowadays, hundreds of recruiters are selecting the best candidates using Egomnia. This is only the beginning, I know this. But my professional dream is to lead Egomnia to become one of the leading job searching platforms in the world HR market and enterprise software companies. And probably I would like to create the first big high-tech Italian company. But my real dream is going to change because I want to speak directly to my generation, to the young Italians and to the young people all over the world. And this is the reason why I'm speaking in English. Because we are the future of the world and we have to work together with the whole generation. It's absurd that in countries like Italy or other countries with a crisis, over the 40% of people with my same age are sitting at home without a job. This is the perfect moment to do something great, to take the power to be listened during the crisis, during this stability. I work in the tech industry. The emblem of this market is the binary code. You can be 0 or you can be 1. Everyone, especially young talents, should work every day to be the number 1. I have done all these things in my life and I keep believing in the future because trust me, I want to be the number 1. Obrigado, Brasil. If you have answers, I have to put this to understand it, but I can answer to you.
So it's gonna be in English, so
Okay.
no problem. I have two questions. One is about the expansion of your company. You say that,
sorry,
about your company, the fact that you're going to go international in March. Have you thought about going country by country rather than going international all at once? And the second question is, do you think that you can use your position to talk with the Italian government to make them understand how tech company can thrive in Italy, like to give them some insights?
Okay. As probably you have understood, the mine is an atypical story because I have the 100% of the company and because I was very lucky. And I think that my strategy to become global was atypical too. Because usually when you have a company, you decide to open in the country next to yours. So in Italy, probably if I were a common entrepreneur, I have to open in France, in Spain, in Germany. But I have opted for Brazil and Singapore. Why I have done these things? For many reasons. The first one is that I have found the right guy to manage the company here in Brazil. So the CEO of Egomnia Brazil, I have found him. The second because I have a big network here in Brazil. There are a lot of big Italian companies here where I met the presidents, etc. So I think that they're going to become my first clients here in Brazil. And I knew some very big students associations that can help Egomnia. So a very big network here in Brazil. And why Singapore and Brazil? Because Italy, Singapore and Brazil are three totally different markets. In Italy, we have a lot of people with a lot of skills, a lot of degrees, and no job. In Brazil, I think that there are more opportunities, but Brazil is looking for the best talents, so outside Brazil too. Singapore is totally different because they have the skills, they have the jobs, but in Singapore there is the higher turnover of the world. So people after 1 year, 2 years usually changes their jobs. So I wanted to open in 3 different markets because in this way, if I'm going to show that Egomnia is good in that 3 markets, probably Egomnia is good for all the world. So this is the first reason. And I changed the business model I'm going to change the business model with the new release of Egomnia because now Egomnia is ready for the world. I have translated the website in 7 languages and there are the payment systems, so it's not totally free, but companies have to pay to select the best candidates and to do employer branding. And probably because companies have to do, we started to contact the biggest companies to sign agreements that are called gold account, silver account, bronze account, etc. So in this way, I started to create a company with a regular turnover. So every year I know that I'm going to receive that money for my clients. And I think that I have answered to your question.
Hi. First of all, in English?
In English.
In English. First of all, congratulations. It's an amazing story. I'm just curious about your first developer. Is he still with you? Is part of the company?
Yes, good question. Yes, was a good story because, as I said, I have paid him, so I was not looking for a co-founder. I was lucky because I didn't know him, because probably otherwise I have asked to him, please, do you want to join the team? But I didn't know him, so I just paid. I remember that when I'm going to launch, when I launched Egomnia, so few days before, Giuseppe, the developer, say to me, I would like to have a percent of the company. And I said, probably I can give you a percent of the company because you worked a lot and you are one of my friends now. But I have paid to have this. So why I have to do this? And I opted for a conclusion. And I said, I want to sign an agreement with you where you are going to receive the 30% of all the money I'm going to earn, since here to, I think, to the end of 2015. And he said to me, Matteo, I don't want to do this, so I'm going to finish the job with the first release of Egomnia, and then you have to find another developer. So we didn't sign the agreements, but when I launched Egomnia, and in that day that was absurd, so 1,000 subscribers, the website crashed out, so we went offline the first day, and it was the best marketing for us. Giuseppe started to really believe in this company. So he said to me, when you are going to earn money from this website, don't give that money to me, because I work for Egomnia for free now. Pay another one, because in this way we are in two developers. Nowadays, Giuseppe works for Egomnia, so yes, this is a good situation. It's my friends, and when I'm going to open the equity of Egomnia, I'm sure that I'm going to give to him some stock options of Egomnia.
How can you classify something so subjective as a curriculum? How can you score it?
Okay. In Egomnia, the subscribers don't have to send a CV in PDF or in Word format, but they have to create it online. It's like a social network, so like the profile of a social network, but in an easier way, because people can find a very big database, all the universities, all the course of studies, so there is a big activity of data entry, and it's very easy to insert information. But in this way, the website is able to understand the information you are inserting. So the result is that all the CVs are similar, the design is the same. The CVs are always updated, and that we are able, using an algorithm, to assign a score to the information that you give to us. And in this way, when a recruiter is looking for someone, they can insert the keyword like the other website, but the recruiter can push on the information, on the skills he needs, this certificate, this university, etc. And the results are all the people that have the skills the recruiter needs, but not in a random way, but from the best score to the worst score. So in this way, you are able to find the right person using less time. And so you don't have to pay a lot of money to select the best candidates. The 100% of emails we have received from the companies were compliments and suggestions, because this is a new innovative way of conceiving an Arabic platform. And in Egomnia, all the people can see his own position inside rankings, so you can see your position inside your university, your position inside your country, etc. But the concept behind Egomnia is that it's not important only your academic background, but all the things that you have done in your life. For example, if I'm looking for someone that has some skills, if someone has, I don't know, the degree, and the other one don't have the degree, but doesn't have the degree, but he has, for example, he has worked 5 years for a company, he spoke 5 languages, for example, probably in the result, the guy without the degree has a score, an higher score. Obviously, if you are McKinsey and you are looking for graduated guys in one of the top universities, you are going to find all the graduated guys in that universities with the skills you need, but from the top score to the worst. So in just 1 second, you know that which are the best candidates. So for this reason, our target is young talents. And the other important thing is that all the CVs are always updated. So one problem when you send the CV is that you cannot update your information in your CV, but not in Egomnia. So this is the new concept that fortunately we have received a lot of positive feedbacks from the market.
Hello, my name is Felipe. I'm sure, I guess that's not really hard to someone make a website similar to yours. So what can you do to Egomnia don't become just one more website between others?
Yes. As you said, it's not difficult to create something like Egomnia. Yes, you need more than 100,000 euros, but the ideas, there are few people that has the ideas and a lot of people that has money. So if someone wants to do Egomnia, can do Egomnia. I have patented the idea of Egomnia in Italy and in the United States of America. So I moved to do this. But I don't think that this is the right way to be the only one in the world that do this. I think that if you have the patent or not, it doesn't matter. If someone wants to do the same thing, someone do the same thing. I think that the main important things to be the best one is, first of all, to be the first one. And I'm lucky because now Egomnia, so all the world know that Egomnia was the first one to do something similar. And the second one is to be the best one. So my dream and what we are working on is to create the best website to hire the best talents in the world, so the biggest young talent community. So I think that's why there is so attention behind Egomnia, because behind the brand of Egomnia there aren't only the codes, but there is something more, because there is like a movement of ideas, and in fact the hashtag that I'm going to launch worldwide will be Young Power, probably for this reason. So this is a very nice answer, and I think this is a question. This is a $1 million question. It's very difficult to answer. I think that you have to be the first one and the best one. I don't know if there are other questions.
Hi. Congratulations for your lecture. I was curious. Do you say that you intend to let your company in Italy? And do you intend to influence or help in the politicians in your country too, or maybe in your city?
Okay. Yes, I have a. I don't know if I have a good relationship with the politicians in Italy, because I have a big network in politics too. I know a lot of politicians, very influential politicians, but I am an entrepreneur, so I don't want to explain my view, my position about the politics, and for this reason, my approach to the politicians is if you want to have, if you are preparing a big event and you want someone that is going to explain his story, I'm here. If for your institution you are looking for a platform to help the citizen to find a job, I'm here. If you want to use my image to do something for you, I'm sorry, but I'm not here. So nowadays I'm working with some institutions in Italy. I have some clients, some public institutions, but I have understood that it's, I don't know if it's good when you have this attention from the media to explain which is your position inside the politics. So I prefer to give for free my solution to the institutions and to the universities too. This is my position with the politics in Italy now. Okay, thank you guys for the attention, and unfortunately no falo Portuguese, but I would like to learn because I'm going to launch a company here. So see you very soon, and I hope to speak with you in Portuguese.